Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? It's Joy here from Spain Speaks with another weekly review video with Johnny. We're going to be having a chat today about that 90-180-day rule that people from the UK now have to put up with here in Europe, and a couple of other things as well. So let's go to the video. All right, Johnny, how are you this week?
Yeah, good. Been out to enjoy a bit of the sun. Been for a bit of a walk just before, and had a bit of a social life last weekend. Went to a couple of bars, couple of parks. None of the illegal gatherings that you've mentioned in recent videos.
Oh, you didn't go to one of those illegal parties? You didn't dare to?
No,
you didn't
no.
take a walk on the wild side, Johnny?
No, always respecting the guidance that's out there. So yeah, just civilized drink or two on a terrace with friends.
Yeah, there was a bit of a, I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was last weekend. There were a group of, I think they were French tourists that were running amok in the centre of Madrid. They were being very loud, and there was about 40 or 50 people. And, you know, we have seen over the last few weeks or even longer that there are lots of people coming to Madrid, and it is that paradise for people looking for freedom, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be frustrating for young people not being able to socialize like we used to, go out and party. But no, like the situation we're in, the right thing to do is just, yeah, respect the rules.
Yeah, well, I guess that's it. But, you know, as we have mentioned before, Spain has that party reputation, and, you know, alcohol is
Yeah.
freely available everywhere you go. It doesn't matter what time of the day. If you want a drink, you'll get a drink. You know, there's no 12 o'clock opening times. You know, if you want a whiskey at 6 o'clock in the morning, the bartender will be happy to give you one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. No limits when it comes to that type of thing.
Yeah.
Now, on the agenda today, Johnny, you had the 180 or the 90-180 rule, whichever way you want to talk about it. The fact that now that the United Kingdom is out of the European Union, you now have Schengen rules. So people can't stay longer than 90 days in a 180-day period, right?
Exactly, yeah. And there's a lot of these articles coming up talking about this 90-180-day rule. And there's a lot mentioning as well that a lot of British homeowners that have property in Spain and in the rest of the EU are considering selling up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, before the term swallow applies, where, you know,
Yeah.
people could just pop
Do whatever
over
they
for,
wanted.
basically, yeah, come over for as many months of the year they want. My grandparents, when they had property in Spain, there was one winter they just decided, yeah, we'll go to Tenerife for the winter.
There you
But
go.
yeah, now with the 90-day rule, that's not going to be possible anymore, I don't think.
Well, no. I think there's a fair bit of pressure to try to get the governments to work it out. Spain would have to do some type of bilateral agreement with the UK, and that's what Britons would like Spain to do with the UK, some type of special agreement.
Yeah, it seems so. I was thinking, because you have property in Portugal, right, and you're a non-EU citizen. How does it work for you? How do you manage your trips to Portugal, and do you do anything with your property while you're not there?
Well, it's the same thing. I can't leave Spain theoretically for a certain period of time every year, because every time I go to get my residency renewed, I have to show my passport, which proves that I've been in the country continuously over those 5 years and haven't been out for longer than I should be, which is a similar rule. I'm not sure on the exact amount of days, but fairly sure it is along those 90 days every 6 months. But for Portugal, I just go for short periods. I don't go for longer than 6 or 7 weeks in summer, and maybe a couple of weeks at Christmas time, maybe Easter as well. But technically you can't do it. But the way I look at it, Johnny, is that because you cross a border and there's no control, who's going to know? Do you know what I mean? So unless I get arrested, and then I get arrested 6 months later and I'm still there, I could have a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these groups that I'm in on Facebook, where I'm keeping up with kind of what life is like for British citizens now in the EU, have posted about kind of what the penalties could be. So the likes of deportation, being arrested, being fined, having difficulties to come back into the Schengen area. But yeah, like you say, some people, it says on there, like some people, it's never picked up because in the Schengen area, yeah, it's kind of difficult to keep track of people.
Well,
Only really on your exit, or yeah, only really on your exit might it be picked up, and then because I think when you leave and enter the Schengen space, they've got the database of your
of course.
entries and exits here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but if you're crossing borders, when I first came to Spain, there was a physical land border with Portugal, and I had to get my passport stamped when I crossed. And there was a different period of time that I could spend in Portugal compared to Spain. But when Schengen came, it all got evened out. The borders disappeared. It made it a lot easier. But I've met Americans here in Madrid that have been living illegally for 2 or 3 years, while they've been waiting to get their residency sorted out, if they ever get it sorted out. So, I mean, they're not really strict on these things, I don't think.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine how it was for British people now. A lot of them, there's a lot who were living under the radar prior to Brexit, never really registered as resident or registered on the town hall register, and now, they got to come out and sort everything out.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I have had a few comments in recent times from people saying that, that they do know people that are selling up. They're not optimistic about the future, can't see the point of having property if they can't spend as much time as they want here. And the easiest thing to do is sell up and get out.
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, the only other thing you could really do is rent it out, probably, but then could be a hassle in itself and might not be something that you're willing to take on as a property owner.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that before with regard to my place in Portugal, and the answer is that I don't rent it out because you have to have somebody on the ground there to take care of, especially if it's a short-term rental. You have to have somebody on the ground there for the cleaning, for the keys. You'd normally have to hire an agency if you don't know anybody there, and that obviously cuts into the profit that you're going to be making, right?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
So it's not easy, but this is another problem of the of leaving the European Union. It's everybody saw it coming, and it was on the table. And I suppose that until things get worked out, we could be in this limbo, or you guys could be in this limbo.
We will see, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. So it is a bit of an inconvenience, and as you said, the end of the swallow lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's it. So your grandparents used to have a house, did they, Johnny, in the Canaries?
They used to have a property in Tenerife in the Los Cristianos area. Okay. So that's where kind of my like and attraction to Spain began on holiday as a young child.
Yeah, that's it. And it stayed with you ever since. That's right. So that's it. So what's the second thing was the social security system, was it, Johnny?
Yeah.
Problems with that?
Not necessarily. Long term, it's a problem, I guess. We'll get into that. So in Cinco Días, so the economics part of El País, there was an article where it talked about the treasury of the social security last year, and now the social security has been in deficit since about 2008, and last year the deficit was about 20 billion euros. So, and that's one of the biggest, I think it is the biggest this side of 2008 that the social security system has seen.
Yeah.
There was about 171 billion euros spent and 151 billion of income into the system.
Okay, so they're losing money. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of doubt hanging over state social security systems or pension systems, not only here in Spain but other European countries as well. A lot of people refer to them as Ponzi schemes. That one day the money's just going to dry up because there's not enough people contributing to the system. We saw recently that Spain's birth rate is down again. The official birth rate numbers are down. So all of those things don't look good for the future. And I'm at a different stage in life than you, Johnny. What's the outlook for a young person nowadays regarding, because the system here, as you know, you have to pay into it. You've got no choice. Your company pays into it every month, and you're living with that guarantee. Well, I don't know if it's a guarantee, but you're living with the hope that there's going to be money for you in 40 years' time, right?
Yeah, well, you say that. I've decided to not live with that hope, and I've just decided this is why essentially I do my finance channel, is to kind of promote, like, preparing for your financial future. Because with problems like this, I don't think there's a guarantee that young people my age will get a state pension when we're older. It depends on if the governments have the money to pay it out. And the retirement age just keeps going up and up. So who knows what it will be by the time we reach that retirement age.
Well, how old are you now, Johnny?
I'm 26 right now.
So there are futurists that say that people your age most likely will live past the 100-year mark. We know that the Queen's nearly there now, and she's 2 or 3 generations before you. So there is a good chance that a lot of people that are in their 20s today will live past that 100. So realistically, where we are looking, or you guys will be looking at probably working until you're 75 minimum, I suppose. No, if that's going to be the case.
Well, yeah, it could. It's a real prospect. So we never know. In any
That's
case,
it.
I'm preparing for
For the
hopefully
century.
well, I hope I live to see a century. Trying to keep myself healthy, myself well.
That's it.
But yeah, not everyone wants to work up to the age of 75. So,
No. Well, you
so
can
yeah.
you can even find videos on the internet nowadays of people that retire when they're 35.
Oh yeah, like within the finance community that I'm part of, that's a lot of people's goals. A lot of people want to retire at 35. There's a famous couple, actually, the American couple that retired in Portugal at the age of 38.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
our rich journey, very well documented,
Yeah.
very well documented family. But
Yeah, but how much? I haven't seen a lot of their videos. I've just seen the brief snaps. But I mean, how much of that is real and how much is fiction? Because they're selling their life for a profit. There, I mean, they get views, right? So I mean, we know how this, the YouTube system works, and you go and live in Portugal. But if you're trying to depend on some type of income, maybe you're not truly retired.
Well, that's the thing. They call it, so this movement is called FIRE, Financially Independent Retired Early. And the retire early part is a bit misleading because you think, retire early, I'm going to be on the beach in Portugal, chilling out, doing nothing all day. But in reality, a lot of people, they're just retired from their corporate life. So these guys, they worked in the US government, I think. And they quit their day jobs. Now they can do what they want, essentially. Their investments are paying for their lifestyle. But they do still get income from YouTube, from selling their courses, all that kind of stuff.
That's it. Yeah. So they've just broken away from the mainstream. No, the rat race.
The rat race, as it's called, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Broken away from that rat race. So so the pension system, I mean, I had the same doubts when I was younger as well, Johnny. To be honest, I started what they call here, the private pension plan. But that's all been changed as well, and because I heard the same things, and but the closer you get to that retirement age, the more you hope that it isn't true, and that there will be some type of state pension.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things the government is trying to do. Like you say, the self-contributing pension scheme. The tax-free contribution has been brought down from 8,000 to 2,000. But if you're in a company and you contribute to a collective pension plan, that's been increased to 10,000 euros. So that might be seen as one of the ways in which they're trying to deal with this this pension system problem. Yeah.
But again, you have to be careful with these private plans, because there have been. I'm not sure whether governments have gone through with it, but I remember in Argentina they threatened to nationalize the private system. So you have to be careful that you don't get a politician in power that suddenly starts to do something like that. I think it was Argentina. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that one of the Kirchners brought that up in a few years ago. So you don't want to be saving and then have it taken by the government,
Exactly, yeah. And I think, it's more reason why people jump on this financial independence, on the financial independence train, if you want to call it that.
That's it, financial independence, a dream for many, And today, not today, by the time this video is published, it will be today, 1 year ago, we went into the state of alarm, Johnny.
We did indeed. I was reminded actually at work today, I had a meeting and it was said that today, this date last year was the last day that we were all in the office together. And then the next day they sent us all home to work from home. And yeah, like you say, the day this video airs, Saturday, that was the day when Pedro Sanchez came on the TV and said, okay, guys, everyone stay at home.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
very weird time in life. Like I remember watching the TV, it was like watching an apocalyptic movie almost. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I recorded a video on that same Saturday 1 year ago, and I went into Madrid just before. I think it was the last bit of freedom that we had, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Sunday when the state of alarm, or 12 o'clock that Saturday night.
Yeah. I think it came into effect the 15th of March. So
Was
was
it the 15th? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I remember watching actually. This was a few months ago. There's a documentary series on Amazon called Six Dreams, and it follows various football clubs. And yeah, there was like, during that documentary, they followed the build up to the state of alarm and then the return to football after. But yeah, like the scenes where they declared the state of alarm brought back vivid memories, and it was quite scary.
Well, we're still in the state of alarm now.
I mean, technically, yes, we are. But I think this first state of alarm was a lot more scary and a lot more unknowns going into it. Now, the government calls state of alarm. We're just like, oh, okay, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, gosh, there's some virus going around that we don't know much about. We better pay attention.
That's right. And then the health situation got out of hand very, very quickly, and all of the terrible images that we saw on television from that day on, right?
Yeah. It was quite depressing, quite draining emotionally to turn on the TV during that time.
Well, there was, because as you said, everybody was stuck indoors, and everybody had a lot of free time on their hand. Everybody tried to adapt to the new way of living, working from home, or kids going to school from home. The online learning, and it was a real change. That's right. And today, 1 year on.
Yeah, Madrid is a very different place. Spain is a very different place 1 year on from what it was this time last year.
Yeah, I think a lot of the effects are still to be seen. I don't think we've touched. I mean, we've touched probably bottom with the health crisis, or I hope that's the case. But the economy is still, probably there's a little bit that's still left to see.
Yeah, I think this situation is going to have a lasting impact around the world. It's going to be a few years, I think, before we really start to feel the real impacts of it. I mean, the UK obviously announced the budget last week. They've increased they're planning to increase corporation taxes. We'll see if other countries follow to recover some of the money that was spent bailing out companies and self-employed people. But yeah, just one of many potential measures to pay the cost.
Well, we can imagine they'll get it back somehow. That's it.
That is for sure, yeah.
Yeah. And if we tie that to the topic we spoke about a couple of minutes ago, the pension systems, that could be another possible victim of these, I'm not going to say back-to-back crises, but the 2008 one and the one today, obviously having a big impact on the economy here in Spain.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But anyway, on that positive note, we'll start to wrap it up, Johnny.
Yeah.
So,
nice positive note to finish on.
Sorry?
Nice positive note to finish on.
Thanks for your input again today, and we'll catch you next week.
Yes, thank you, Stu. I'll speak to you next week.
All right, see you later. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
So there we go. That was the week in review. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.